Have you ever wondered why, like, two nurses can face the exact same angry relative, but one gets furious while the other, ends up crying in the car park?
Yeah, it's a huge contrast.
Right. Well, welcome to today's deep dive. We are exploring that exact phenomenon using a tool designed specifically for healthcare professionals in Malaysia. It is straight from psychiatrist Dr. Feng Cheng Carr's book, Jump Mindful Gym Now.
Exactly. And our mission today is really to understand his mindful mirror technique. It is all about how you can learn to observe your own stress with, well, a bit more compassion.
Which we all need.
Definitely. Because what's fascinating here is that humans almost never react to raw, objective situations.
Wait, we don't. We react to our interpretation of them, right?
Spot on. We are actually reacting through the complex, kind of invisible layers of our own inner world. The event is really just a trigger. And to make sense of those layers, Dr. Feng introduces the mindful mirror. You can think of it like an MRI for your mind.
Oh, I like that. Let's follow that analogy. So an MRI takes a single confusing mass and slices it into thin, manageable cross-sections, right? Just to find out what's really going on inside.
Precisely. Because normally when you make a mistake or feel overwhelmed on the ward, your default internal question is this harsh, judgmental, what is wrong with me?
Yeah, I mean, we've all been there. It's just a reflex.
Right. But the mirror slices an overwhelming panic response into distinct layers. That shifts the paradigm completely. It teaches you to ask a much kinder diagnostic question, which is, what is happening in me?
Okay, let's unpack this because let me play devil's advocate for a second here. We work in a really high-stakes field. Isn't it possible that some people are just naturally tougher or maybe, I don't know, just better equipped to handle the pressure of the job?
I mean, it's a common assumption, especially in medicine, but it's fundamentally flawed. It is not about weakness or mental toughness at all.
Wait, really? It's not about resilience.
Not in the way we usually mean it, no. If we connect this to the bigger picture, a stressful reaction involves all these unseen historical and environmental layers. The mirror is designed to show us that complete picture rather than defaulting to, some sort of personal failing.
That makes a lot of sense. Let's actually trace how that works using a relatable example from the book. Imagine, say, a junior house officer getting scolded by a senior doctor during a really busy ward round.
Yeah, that is a perfect starting point. So that is part one of the mirror the raw situation. A senior doctor raised their voice and corrected the house officer. But within milliseconds, your brain writes a tragic story about that raw data.
Ah, so part two is the thoughts. The house officer might immediately think, like, I'm a bad doctor, or maybe my career's totally over.
Exactly. And believing that story must instantly flood the system with emotion, which brings us to part three, feelings. Things like shame, fear, or helplessness.
And this is where the mirror asks you to simply name the emotion, right?
Yes, naming it is vital. It actually shifts your brain's processing away from the primitive emotional center and engages the rational thinking part of your brain. By identifying it as shame, you begin to tame the shame.
Oh, wow, name it to tame it. I see. And because you are stressed, that emotion isn't just in your head. Your sympathetic nervous system kicks into fight or flight mode.
Right, which leads to part four, the physical sensations. A tight chest, sweaty palms, a racing heart. All of that internal chaos drives what you do next.
Which would be part five, the behavior. So the house officer might become overly defensive, or perhaps they just withdraw and, shut down for the rest of the shift.
Exactly. But here's where it gets really interesting for me, moving to part six. This framework doesn't just look inward, it looks outward at the environment.
Yes, the environment. Maybe the ward is severely understaffed or there's a strict punishing hierarchy in that specific hospital. I really want to emphasize this because it validates you, the listener. It's not always just you. The systemic pressures you are working under matter immensely to your reaction.
Yep. They absolutely do. The system plays a huge role. And finally, part seven, we have to account for our past experiences. We often walk around wearing these, haunted glasses.
Haunted glasses. I love that term.
Yeah.
So you might not just be reacting to the senior doctor today.
Exactly. You might be reacting to past trauma, a fear of failure from childhood, or a previous harsh training experience. You are reacting to the past in the present.
So if we step back, what this mirror is really showing us is that your stress isn't a simple reflex. It's a heavily layered response, colored by your nervous system, your past, and your current environment.
Spot on. Recognizing that allows you to treat yourself with diagnostic curiosity rather than harsh self-criticism. That is the first main message today.
Right, your reactions are deeply layered. And the second is that your environment and past experiences heavily influence your present.
Yeah. And the third is that this mirror is a tool for kindness and understanding, never self-criticism, which raises an important question about how we actually move forward on the wards.
So what is one practical step our listeners can try right now?
The next time you feel overwhelmed on a shift, just pause. Don't try to fix everything at once. Just try to name one physical sensation in your body, like a tight chest or tense shoulders, just to anchor yourself in the present moment.
I love that. Small, actionable steps. And I want to leave you with a provocative thought to mull over. If we started treating our own minds with the same diagnostic patience and care that we give our patients, how would that change the culture of healthcare itself?
That is a very powerful question.
Right. Think back to those two nurses facing the angry relative. Imagine what happens when they stop judging their own reactions and start understanding them.